Hi everyone, we are Go2 and our case study is about the community field trips, a project-based learning experiment integrated with Lingnan Secondary School. Here is our content page. Next. We are introducing a Lingnan Secondary School of Liberal Studies school-based learning in Form 1. According to the school website, this school focuses on small group teachings and care for the student with learning differences. For the curriculum aspect, the school is paying attention to the educational trends and providing lots of other learning experience for the students. Next.
In order to cooperate with inquiry-based teaching, the school organized community exploration activities, and the activity concept is one site, multiple tasks. Next.
From the EDB document, it shows that the main reasons for promoting a school-based curriculum is to cultivate the student learning to learn. It is important for the school to improve the deals of the new curriculum, understand the students' needs, and enhance the teachers' professional development. Next. Now is the time to talk about the new 9 features. Next. The first is the goals-driven, increasing the learning effectiveness by catering to students' individual learning needs. Lingnan School is improvement the 5 hours teaching character. However, the teacher discovered that the outcomes, such as not enhancing the school self-learning ability and learning passively. Therefore, the school should develop a new LS curriculum with more outdoor activity learning experience for them. There are two main goals of years. First is provides more hand-on experience learning opportunity to enhance the students' self-learning ability and community conscious. It is important to compensate for the downsides of the old curriculum. Moreover, it can provide more opportunities to design the diversified teaching activity for the teachers. Next. In the school case, the topic is related to the student's daily life, so it can be easy to catch up and understand. There are about the free group with different frames about the handful by setting goals for each group. It can increase the learning effectiveness by catering to student individual learning needs.
And the next is about the human resources driven. Regarding teacher as a main subject at school, for internal resources, teacher will design the school-based curriculum according to students' learning needs, and they will develop the suitable teaching materials for them. They will also observe and reflect on the results and seek help from the professionals. And for external resources, they have invited the Hong Kong Institute of Education support team for helping them to design the school-based curriculum.
And then the third feature is resources-driven, considering the school context and resources as the basis. Let's discuss internal resources first. The school implements a school-based curriculum, and teachers independently develop and formulate school-based teaching materials to meet curriculum development and also student needs. And here are the tasks assigned by the teacher to the students, including replanning community design drawing. And this task also encourage students to think about community shortcoming and also make suggestions and helping to integrate knowledge and also use creativity. Next page, friends. And then I will start talking about external resources, including community resources, and students need to conduct a field trip. Ham Pha Trinh is one of the community resources, including its recreational facilities for young people and also markets. In addition, the entire event is supported by the Hong Kong Institute of Education Supports team, which provides advice and experience sharing, support, and also encouragement, and also school situation analysis.
Okay, and for the curriculum driven, which is the process and result of the interaction among the situation, teachers, and students. So in the curriculum, teachers interpret relevant concept before the field trip. And during the field trip, there are research and planning, observe and collect some first-hand and second-hand information and to analyze, also communicate and actively in the field by the students. And at last, we will have discussed with group mate in the lesson. So this process make analogics, which lets students to arrive logical construct, and they can revisit and replenish the knowledge, and so to cultivate right value and pay attention to the community development. And for the result to evaluate students' learning, there are some assessments for learning which have group discussion, sharing, and Q&A. Also, they can redesign a community planning map and some to write a letter to the district councilor, and also some pre-test and post-test. So feedback from teacher and classmate and evaluation can improve student performance and help them gain confidence in what they are expected to learn and to what standard.
So the next feature will be the teaching driven, that teacher guides students to actively unleash their potential and nurture their ability to learn. So start from teacher oriented, that the teacher based on the 5 general education unit and the constructive learning as theory to establish a school-based curriculum and provide different research activity and experience and teaching relevant knowledge to prepare students. So start from the next stage, that the teacher optimizing the coordination between teaching, design, and learning activity, that they let the student to experience the thematic research activity to develop their multi-dimensional perspective and their potential. Next. So at the last stage of the student center and teacher guidance, that the teacher guides students to implement their planning and set up sessions for students to maintain a self-direct learning. Like during the field trip and planning, students should collect data, secondhand information independently, and they should also lead the discussion section and the presentation during the sharing period.
For the student driven, its focus is to cater of the student active and individual difference. It can be observed from the case that sets of learning activities are designed to fit the different learning needs and motivations. Free learning plans are designed to cater about that, and different skills are contained and being studied as the main learning goals for the curriculum. Different learning method is used for students to finish their tasks in a suitable contextual phase. Next.
For a teacher-driven, it means to study, to interpret, to develop, and to implement and to evaluate. First, to study. This case have find out the elements that affect the effectiveness in project-based learning by studying related cases and analyze the school situation. And for to interpret, it observes students' learning situation and characteristics, and to conduct a pretest to understand their abilities. Next page. And for to develop, it optimized the learning objectives, teaching strategies, and teaching activity based on students' ability, characteristics, and their interests. And for the implement, the contexts were related to food consumption situation and the recreational facilities in Hong Kong, which have been talked before. And free routes were designed to cater students with diverse interests and abilities. And the last, to evaluate, it evaluates students' performance by different class activities like designing a community worksheet or etc. to analyze their learning progress and efficiency. Next page.
The 8th feature is process-driven, meaning dynamism, reflection, and action research. The whole process is circular, including 5 processes. Next. At the first stage, the teachers identified the weaknesses of the previous curriculum, which was failed to enhance students' self-learning ability and reinforce students' existing knowledge. Moving to the second stage, the teachers tabulated the major targets of the new curriculum. Regarding the third stage, the teachers developed some new strategies for teaching, such as constructing knowledge through scenarios. Next. After that, the teachers evaluated the performance through several methods, such as observing of students' performance and receiving feedback from students. Lastly, at stage 5, the teachers commented on the curriculum. They realized there are limitations. One of them is spatial limitation. They decided to expand it from Hanfa Chun to the whole Wan Chai district. Next. Moving to the last feature, administrative driven, referring to appropriately adjust the decision power and responsibility of the curriculum. Firstly, it is a teacher-driven initiated curriculum. The teachers modified the teaching methods, expanded the learning objectives, and had a self-reflection throughout the journey. Secondly, they involved external parties, including teachers outside and school and professional supporting members from EduHK. They shared experiences to the in-school teachers. Besides, in-school teachers and external parties collectively discussed about the activities format and reached consensus on some decisions.
Next, we will talk about the 4 stages of school-based curriculum. Next page. The first stage is the preparation stage, which includes professional training and setting up the organization. First, the school have the sound organizational structure for curriculum development, and the school adjusts the focus of inspection according to student interests and abilities, which helps the school screen different modes and also apply them freely. And second, the school has clean organizational roles and work divisions, and participants in the project include partner teacher and a support team. The former is responsible for design and practical exploration activities, while the latter is responsible for giving advice and sharing experience to achieve collaboration and teamwork. The third one is regular gathering, discussion, and also concept discussion. Teacher discuss the feasibility of the activity multiple times with partner to resolve concerns, and it pays attention to the progress and reflects on feedback. Next. Then 3.1.2 is about the crew analyze, supply and demand evaluation. Teachers find some area for improvement in past inspection activities, such as being unable to concentrate on investigation and also not exploring enough. After the support team's experience sharing the school situation analyzed, the teacher came to following conclusions. The teaching decide before and after the inspection needs to be coordinated with the activity, and then guide students to record the inspection context from different observation points. And the last one, the objective of the inspection activities are clean and specific with a clean focus. Reading the document carefully will help schools analyze the current situation. Next page.
In this case, do not mention the relative information from the whole school overall curriculum pending aspects. However, we can find that some information from the school report, which mentions that the new curriculum started to adjust from senior to move towards to the junior form by forming a small group to do the research in the field, record, and present together. Students need to enhance their learning motivation to become self-directed learners from passive to active.
And for the second stage, we have designing stage, which means to setting up of the curriculum design organization. In this case, it communicates with the other groups and have experience change. The lifelong learning days were collaborated with liberal study teacher, and they have discussed about the form of the activities. And for the second one is the decision can get majority approval. Both parties agree on the implementation of the project-based learning. And for the third one, it established support and consultation channel. They invited supportive channel to give advice from the EduHK. Next page.
Moving to designing teaching activities, there are several criteria. One of them is the sequences, articulation, and integration of the organization. Students already had prerequisite concepts and knowledge on the theme community, laying a foundation for participating in community-themed projects. Besides, the teaching activities echo with students' needs and abilities. The selected themes are closely related to their real-life experiences, arousing their interest. Furthermore, there are 3 sets of themes and rules. The difficulties of each set differ based on students' diverse interests and abilities. Next, coming to the contents, analysis of and choice of teaching materials. The teachers selected the theme community because it connects with what the students was learning. Students then can imply the existing knowledge and concepts during the fieldwork. For experiment, no information can be provided because there is no experiment in the curriculum.
And for the implementation stage, teachers are really understanding the spirit and connotation of the plan. They provide a suitable context to apply inquiry-based teaching and focused on self-directed and experiential learning, which strengthen the sense of ownership in learning and also favor student knowledge construction and to connection of necessary natural and social resources. Teachers decided a field trip, which they set research topic for students, and to let students observe and analyze it in person, which strongly impressed the values of society and importance in saving resources. And for the preparation of teaching, which teachers implemented according to the design of the plan, they determined question and wrote with partner, which stick to the topic and daily life to let students apply the concept during field trip and also arouse their learning motivation to make sure the applied research method help in self-directed learning. And also they set a clear learning objective for each group and both teacher and student understand it. Teacher consider what follow-up activity can help in development too.
The next step is implementation according to curriculum solution. According to the design of the plan, it focuses on using a suitable context to build up the skill of analytical thinking and self-learning abilities. Steps are designed to construct the related abilities. As the curriculum designs 3 sets of teaching plans to different classes, learning goals are referenced to the plan to make good use of the site visits, which can also fulfill the target of one-site multiple tasks. Next. From the implementation of the plan, it can be observed that the students are giving positive responses to the learning activities. Students are being active to the lessons. They gain the sense of achievement, which the application of the curriculum is proof that is able to echo to the learning goals designed. Next is about the relation, discussion, evaluation, and reflections. From the feedback, it can be seen that the curriculum design is able to bring active learning, which adds both professional goals of teachers and self-learning ability of students. Teachers are able to gain experience and learn new perspective for professional goals by observing the actual responses of the students. Next. To adjust the curriculum study as curriculum design, it can be concluded from the feedback that those studies are valued to let students explore their vision and enhance their knowledge and understanding. The curriculum can be improved by expanding the scope of learning to further develop other learning activities.
So the next stage will be the result evaluation stage that start from student learning result that in this case, it use the formative assessment like assessment of data collection, the group discussion, group presentation, and the teacher observation. And for summative assessment, it's also use the teacher observation assessment and adding the interview and the question aired and the peer evaluation part to evaluate student performance with 3 areas, including knowledge, attitudes, and skills. It shows that it uses a diversified assessment and task to analyze student learning results. Next. Overall, student performance of the use of knowledge, skills, and learning attitude improve that students can engage the unique concept with their observations, and their willingness also increase, and their common ability and their multi-dimensional perspective also develop during the process of collecting, comparing, and analyzing the data.
And the next will be the teacher professional growth. The teachers have found out that the students' learning needs and try to use the experiential learning as the strategy. They provide a real-life scenario for students to construct knowledge and need student learning to learn, which meets the target of the Stage 5 suitable strategy for curriculum development. And also, the teacher have increased their ability on designing the curriculum. They apply this kind of strategy to their future teaching to make a sustainable development in their school. And also it have met the target of Stage 5 undertake design and implementation of curriculum development.
So for the satisfaction and teaching load for students, that in this case, it does not mention about the student load condition, but for the satisfaction that students are quite satisfied with their learning performance, that they think they become more active and become more brave to present their own unique ideas, and they are also willing to use the multidimensional perspective to reflect and think critically.
For the satisfaction and teaching load for a teacher, they think the teacher was satisfied with the learning result of students as they have become more active and energetic, and they can think and reflect using multi-dimensional perspective. For a teaching load, the teacher thinks they need to prepare more before the field trip, but they think it is worth it.
To the 6th important principle. The first one is scope. It's about the depth of the context, which is talking about the depth of exploitation into a topic or subject. The topic of the curriculum is community life. The depth of the topic is extended by increasing the difficulties of applying the concept into study. In this case, students would learn this concept of community life, linking it to the observation in experience studies, and analyze the observation with prerequisite knowledge and data. Finally, reflect on the observation with the personal thoughts, which can be observed that they have applied the design stage of the study. Next is the breadth of the context, which is about the breadth of the diversity in learning tasks and topics. The content of learnings is about studying the community, which learn about the plan and living of the community. Various skills are included to the study above. Different learning tasks are designed to improve student learning efficiency. And talking about the types of learning experience next. Students are studying the concept of community life through lessons and having different learning tasks. After the field trip in classes for the they are learning different learning tasks after the field trip. And for the extracurricular activities, data research and field trips are organized out of the classroom. Next.
Coming to the last part of scopes, objectives of learning usually involves 3 dimensions, which are knowledge, skills, and attitude. Here is an overview of the whole curriculum. For knowledge, it aims to apply the existing knowledge about community to the real-life scenarios. Secondly, it aims to inspect the existing knowledge that varies from the real-life scenarios and supplement with the updated information collected. Moving to skills, the curriculum aims to raise students' awareness to the contemporary issues and to develop their higher order thinking ability. Regarding attitude, the curriculum aims to establish appropriate values such as concerning the development and interest of the community. Next. I just mentioned that there are 3 sets of themes. Each of their knowledge, skills, and attitude vary a bit. Regarding knowledge, it includes land use, urban planning, community facilities, poverty, self-sufficiency, consumption level, household income, economic situation, and balanced diet. Moving to skills, it incorporates collecting primary and secondary resources, integrating and analyzing the information, use appropriate methods to express opinions, and compare the differences between consumption modes, and selected the goods reasonably. For attitude, it aims to establish the understanding and the sense of belonging to the community and cherish the community resources.
The second is sequences, which refer to the stepwise teaching sequences from simple to the complex. In this case, teachers are guided by providing a suitable topic and idea before the students build up their knowledge by themselves and become active learners. Also, the students are learning separately without connecting with each chapter and activity first. Then they need to apply their knowledge between the regular lessons and line-wide learning.
Continuing to discuss the teaching sequence from simple to complex, the teacher is very organized in assigning tasks, and let's take a look at the timeline. And students need to review before the inspection and think about what makes a perfect community. Then they conduct a field trip. After the trip, they have to organize and analyze the results. Finally, students are allowed to challenge themselves and reimagine the community's plans. And the teaching method can help students consolidate and deepen existing knowledge and also promotes their independent thinking ability. Next.
For the prerequisites, the learning part which combines the prior and the new knowledge. For example, students are familiar with the learning context by layering the foundations from it before connecting and combining the knowledge. The aim is to understand the new concepts more easily. Also, they learn the concepts about community life during LS lesson before connecting the original knowledge to answer the questions on outdoor activity. It's great for consolidating prior information and adding the new information logically.
For whole to part learning, students will first understand the general concept of community life as a whole and allow them to establish a basic understanding of the topic. Then different tasks ranged according to the students' interests and abilities, and topics are broken down into categories such as community facilities and land planning. And subdividing topics can allow students to understand the topic more fully, and the students' personal experience can make the knowledge concrete and also easy to understand, making them more profound.
So the next principle will be the continuity. Start from the reappearance of knowledge. For the multiple thematic research activities, students need to base on the unique concept they learned before to design their own planning. It can enhance student understanding on the related concept continually. And it also continue on building up student value of the community belonging and the cherished resources. So next for the depth and breadth of knowledge, for the depth aspect, as the topic become deeper, students need to compare the data with their community observation to analyze different stakeholder views. And for the breadth, that it provides diversified learning experience like the observation part, data collection, analyze, presentation, and discussion. And for the open-ended topic, also provide enough freedom for students to develop their multi-dimensional perspective through investigating different stakeholder view and the observation they got.
To further explain the continuity, we will explain it with the spiral learning style. As first, the spiral knowledge among the students are the concepts about living in the community, and the teacher reinforces their knowledge by requiring them to observe the true picture of the society. Then the teacher adds their own new knowledge to it. It requires students to have field trip, to link up new knowledge and compare it with the prior knowledge with new observation. Therefore, the student can master and understand comprehensively. Except the knowledge, students also need to learn about skills like collecting and organizing primary and secondary information by letter writing, urban designing, and group discussion. And last, students need to learn about new attitudes and positive values like paying attention to community development and cherishing the community resources. So we can conclude the difficulty elevates accordingly, and the students have strong basis before the project-based learning. They can new learn and revise all at the same time, and the richness of the curriculum surges substantially. Next page.
Okay, for the integration, the curriculum organized thematically based on a real-life role. For the individual aspects, students are being as stakeholders to answering questions about community facility to form from a teenager's perspective. And for the social aspects, students research on food prices in different market and restaurant, giving a chance for them to apply their marketing plan for a dinner based on their self-observation and research. And for the environmental aspect, research on first and second-hand information about community planning. Let students point out the problem and insufficiency, which this curriculum giving a chance for them to design and draw planning map, allocating facility for their community. Also, to let them send a letter to district councillor to request and give suggestions to improve their living environment. Next.
And in this case, the topic of it is the community research, and it has been divided into 3 topics: the community planning, the community facilities, and the residence life. And for each topic, it have the relevant concept that will be taught, and the teacher have also designed different assessments for them for learning the interdisciplinary knowledge and the life beam knowledge. And for articulation, first is the horizontal articulation. The teaching activity has a strong correlation between the knowledge, skills, and the attitude. For example, for the knowledge, they will teach about the general study concept and terms, such as the land reallocation, consumption level, and the composition of the society. And also, inside each assessment, they will help to build up students' like generic skills. For example, the presentation will help to build up their critical thinking and collaboration skills. Also, they will teach the student how to understand the role and responsibility in the society and the sense of belonging to the community.
And for the vertical articulation, it's about sequence of the contents from one level to another, ensuring students are equipped with prior knowledge for their learning in the upcoming lessons. Now, students need to study the concepts of community life through lessons as prerequisite knowledge, then apply the concepts of improving communities' infrastructure as they have the basic concept. They are prepared to study the concept of constructing a well-developed community for upcoming lessons. Next.
The last one is a balance which shows us a appropriateness of the proportions. The students have the chance to familiarize themselves, internalize, and apply the knowledge of the course content with the teaching methods and materials. In this case, the school supporting teachers and the students also included in this school-based curriculum.
So we can further discuss about the balance through success first start from the instructional objective. It helps to develop student basic skills, including attitude, knowledge, and skills, and it also covers 5 general education units to respond to the learning scope of the general education, and it also uses a lot of learning activity to achieve inquiry-based learning, including discussion, presentation, action plan, field trip, and the data collection. For the assessment part, it also uses the formative assessment and the summative assessment to achieve different learning goals. So in this case, it is a student-oriented teaching to cultivate on student knowledge, skills, and attitude. And for the repetitive learning, it uses the listening presentation to let students listen to their peered understanding through the topic, and it can also reveal what is relevant between the unit concept and the community. And for the repetitive practice, it also develops student critical thinking through repeating the process of collecting, comparing, and analyzing the data they got. So this is the end of the 6th principle.